Hello and welcome to New Hope Cattle and Dairy Farm. We are in May, just after 11 o'clock, and we have done most of our routine. We've sorted out all our newborns, moved them around to where they need to be. We've taken the pregnant cows out of their different pens and put them into the calving pen. We've also, at the end of last month, we've brought in about 45 bales, of which 15 we converted to silage, and that's in the store at the moment, or maturing in the store at the moment, should I say. And then 30 bales we put into the hay dryer, into the hay barn or the haystack to dry off. So pretty eventful since the last episode. There's also one other little change that we make, but I'll show you that, well, I'll tell you about that after we have finished our deliveries, which we are just about to do. So I've just hooked up, I've loaded up everything at all. I've put them into the different sections. Let's just show you what we've got here. We've got 2 pallets of cheese, 3 of yogurt, and 1 of mozzarella. And we are going to go and deliver those. So let's see where we get our best prices for that. Right, so let's have a look at the mozzarella. That's the farmer's market, that's the normal farmer's market. And cheese is ABC again. And what is the other thing that we had? Yogurt or yogurts. That's also the farmer's market. So we should get in a fairly decent amount. So what we'll do is we'll just cut through our field here. We are in a tractor after all. And straight through there to the farmer's market. Couldn't be easier. Oh dear. Could be easier if they made a road for us down there. The powers that be. And I think we deliver this just on the other side of the, I think this is where your sort of grains and stuff go in. And I think just on the other side here is where we deliver the produce. So we're going to deliver mozzarella and yogurt to you. So let's have a look and see. So if we undo this strap here, that should oops, maybe not in the right area. Maybe we need to go a bit further back, forward. There we go. So 5,103 for that. That's not a bad start. This is the big money spinner. And let's get that undone. Also probably need to go a bit further forward. There we go. And 12,392 for the mozzarella. Not to be scoffed at. Right, we'll just nip on next door to the I'm going to call it the cheese shop from now on, because it just takes all our cheese. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I'm quite glad that we got to deliver somewhere else as well, so let's just undo the fastening straps here, and we'll get that delivered. There we go, another 6,000 there. So that's a fairly profitable month. I'm just wondering, we seem to have got a lot more out of the dairy than I was expecting, whether we've had 2 months worth of stuff there. Can't remember. In any case, we will go and collect the milk that we have available at the moment, and then we will put that into the dairy, let it get going. Before I do that, I just want to take you quickly down to the breeding pens. And what I've done here is, because we seem to be struggling to get decent females at this point in time. I'm sure they'll come, but for the last couple of months we haven't been able to find anything in the market. So let's have a look and see if there's anything there. Yeah, see, brown Swiss, that's no good. It's not worth. The Angus is the other one that we were looking at. No, it's not worth the bother, so to speak. That one there is very close. Metabolism high, very high. I'm wondering if we shouldn't just, I mean, they are all green. Yeah, I think I am going to buy that, just because we're struggling at the moment. So I'm going to buy that. It's going to go in there. But actually, that's not what I'm going to do. I was going to keep them separate, but what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to, well, you know what, I'm going to put it in directly in with the Anguses, which are right down on the other side here. The other thing that I did do is I made these pens much smaller, so we've got a lot more space to add in, and I think we're going to go through our bulls, and if we've got any Holsteins, etc., that are looking good, we will bring them in as well. So in this one here we've got, yeah, there they are there. So I'm going to put them in there, and then what we'll do is we'll separate out the bulls before they get too old, and either put them into a separate pen if they're good enough to breed with. But what we'll do is the second team, basically the weaker of the two in terms of genetics, we'll put back into the bull pen and then use that as a later stage. It's starting to formulate a little bit better in my mind. So you've got to just, well, I can't say you've got to just, it will flesh itself out, let's put it that way, as we go along. So we're going to buy that one there just to get things going. So we've got 3 in there now, and as they grow up they will then just, we'll have the bull and any cows we've bought and brought in. That'll apply to any cows that we can find in our stock that do not have the same mother and father as the bull that is in a particular pen, and we can put those in, so we can be utilizing our good stock as well. But that may only really come to fruition in the next season. So that was the other change. As I said, I've made these pens much smaller. I think they can only take about between 15 and 20 cows now, but we've got lots of space to add more in there. Right, so there's that done. As I said, we've moved everything out there, and that's left the gate open again. We've moved the new females in that are at 90%. So that's that done. We've fed everything as well, so everything should have enough feed. Just go collect the milk now, and then once we've collected the milk and put that in, I have a new little project. I don't know if it's going to work, and as you've seen with a lot of the new projects that I've taken on, they do become fairly flexible. But yeah, we'll deal with that. And quite a surprising move, I think. I don't think anybody would have seen it coming. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it works. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Right, so start filling that up. Buffalo milk, is nothing there. There's not a great amount of milk, but there's not nothing either. So we've only got about 200 or odd liters in the buffalo enclosure, so we won't collect that for now. Start filling, 500 there. And then finally we'll just go and see if there's anything that we can collect from the calving barn. Won't be much, but it will be a couple of liters. Well, tens of liters, I would think. 50, 60 liters, I would hope. And we can get that into the dairy. Right, how much have we got here? 81 liters. Yeah, good. Start. Yep. So there we go. Just over 3,000 liters. That will get us something to sell next month. We've got to keep the dairy going. We've got people to supply. Things to do and people to supply. Right. There we go. That is going to be added in. I suppose we could just go across the field to offload this, or to put this back in the well, near the milk collection point. The other thing that we did, I don't know whether I told you about it either last month or the month before, we did collect the slurry and the manure. We put that into the BGA and we made a bit of money from there as well. Right, so that's that done. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do, and this is something that I don't like really doing, but we have some assets that are just not producing properly, or sitting around doing nothing. The biggest asset that we have not doing anything is our big tractors. So this little tractor is working like a Trojan, which you would expect on a husbandry farm. But we have these two massive tractors, and really all we're needing the big tractors for is for the grass cutting and the silage making. So we've got the big case and we've got the JCB. The case is super powerful, and JCB is 400 horsepower, which I think is big enough to do all the tasks that we need on the farm as it is now. And also I like the speed of the JCB. It gets around really quickly. So I'm actually going to sell the case. We're going to take it down to the dealer. We're going to sell it. We're going to take the money. And then the money we're going to invest in a new piece of land and a completely new venture. Well, it's not completely new, it's still a husbandry venture, but we'll discuss that in a little while. Think about what we're going to do. I have given you an indication that it's going to be a husbandry venture, so it's another animal. And yeah, have a think about what would kind of work with what we have at the moment. Right, we've got to just take it around the back here to get it all serviced, etc. Repainted and ready for sale. Right. Okay, so we've got so as it is, if we don't do anything to it, I mean, it's not in bad condition, 259,000 odd. But if we repair it, we should, so it's going to cost us 2,800. So as long as we get, say, 3,000 on that, so as long as we get sort of the high 260s after repairing this, I would think we would be okay. Yes, 262,000, yeah, so that's was a good move to make. And then repainting is going to cost 33,000, so we want to be in the high 290s after we've repainted. Well, closer to the 300,000 is where we want to be. So repaint, yes, yeah, 298, that's good enough. Alright, and then we're going to sell it. 298,000, yes. It's a pity because I love that case. I really do. But it's overkill for what we're doing. Right, so now we're just over 400,000 and we've got a bit of capital in the bank. The only negative of that whole thing is that I have to take a jog back up to my quad bike if I can find it. It's probably up near the garage. There we go, that's the morning jog done. Right, so let's get down here. So let me know in the comments if you think this is just a bridge too far, so to speak. So I'm going to buy a new piece of land. The new piece of land I'm going to buy is going to border onto our existing piece of land. It's fairly flat out there, so we should be fairly easy to build the stuff that we want to do on it. So in this piece of land here where we've got our breeding area, I reckon I can get another quite a few more sheds on there. We're going to have to get some sort of winter type operation, so we may have to just separate bulls and females during the winter and only breed in the summertime when we can put them into the fields, just to limit the amount of extra sheds that we need to winter them over for the couple of months. Right, so this field kind of ends around about here, so I want to buy the one that sort of borders onto this. So let's have a look and see. Yeah, so this is where we are now. And there's either this one, which is very small, or there's this one here, which is quite big. Now I think, so this one here, that's 21 acres. This one here is only about 4 acres, so it's quite small. And I think if we're going to do the operation that I want to do, we're going to have to get volume going. So 219,000. It'll bring us up to just about 200,000 to buy a couple of things in. It's also going to be a bit of a slow burner, but it'll work over time. So if we go to buy 219,000, yes, right, so now we've got that. So basically we've got this area here now. Sort of, it's a huge area, nice and big. So I'm thinking that we could put in some winter barns at the top there. But what I want to do is, let's have a look and see. Let's just go back into there. So yeah, so I think if we get some winter barns going in for this side of the farm down there, but where are we now in May? We've still got a couple of months before we need to put in winter barns. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to buy some goats. So the goats will produce milk, which will feed in with our dairy. I think we'll get some good money for that. And we only have to worry about one sort of species, because it's just goats and nothing else. There's no different species of goats. So we don't have to worry about that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a barn round about here. And now these barns that I'm going to build I'm going to do slightly differently. So we're going to use, it's not cows, sheep, yeah. Going to use the bigger sheep barn mod. It can house 260 sheep or goats, and we can just feed grass there. We don't have to actually feed hay, and it'll give us, I think, the right sort of amount of or get the goats into the right sort of health. So let's have a look at that. 48, 100 and something. So I think if we put that in there, and yeah, we'll make it slightly bigger. It's very expensive for the fencing on this mod. Just making it a bit bigger so it doesn't look too crowded for 50 animals or whatever. There we go. The fencing is really expensive on this one. No. Right, so this is where we buy the animals. This is the inside, I think we feed on the side. $268 animals we can have in there. We're not going to get anywhere near that size on this one, because we're going to have a couple more of these built for the different billy goats. So the feed goes in there, and this is where we collect. So let's have a look and see what can we buy in terms of goats. Right, so we just need to go right down to the bottom here. So that looks good enough. That's a ram. Right, so we want high milk. Wool production. I'm presuming that's going to be milk production, otherwise it's going to be a problem. We'll find out there. 28 months old, very high. It's not, could be some of the younger ones. So 12 months old, it's got 1, 2 very good high. Yeah, this is the better one, younger. So we'll buy that ram in, and it's actually a billy, it's not a ram. I suppose it's because it is essentially a sheep mod. So I'm just hoping that they will produce. I didn't notice that when I was doing my planning. See, this is what I say, things get fluid. I didn't notice that it's showing wool production there, but it's, I can't see it being anything else than milk. In any case, we're going to buy that. But okay, and then let's go and have a look and see. So we've only got 2. Oh, once again, it's just when I want to buy something decent, there's nothing. Oh dear, my plans come to naught again. Right, very low. Low, very low. Oh, man. You know what? I'm just going to buy one just to get things going there. We'll see what happens. Buy selected. Buy. We'll sell it off eventually. But I'm just, there's just no good breeding stock around at all. We'll have to just keep our eye open on that. At least we've got the ram now. Well, that was rather expensive for not a lot to show. So we've got our 2 goats in there now. Let's have a look and see how they show. Do they show up nicely? That's the overall bed. Yeah. Overall very good. Hopefully his genetics will just do it for us. Just start bad with a female and we see how it goes. So we've got a lot of extra space there. And I just want to check something. So we're not going to have to find any, we're not going to have to winter them with the barn that we're using there. So let's just see if we can go back to our cows. Overlaps with another. I'm just hoping that we can get this stuck in here somewhere. 86, 85. Going to have to start putting in some roads as well. So we'll be able to get it in there somewhere for our winter, because we'll need to put 2 in. One for the bulls and one for the females, just for our winter. So yeah, we've got space there to do that for the breeding section. This we're not going to, so we've got a lot of extra space here. I think we'll get the mower in and we'll start mowing that down so that we can see where we are, by the way. And I think it's going to go right up, all the way up here. It's a very big piece of land. We've actually increased the size of our farm substantially. In any case, that's where I'm going to end this episode, with that bit of shocking news, which didn't quite work out. But of course, the other good thing is that goats breed a little bit quicker. We don't have to wait as long for the babies. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the venture into goats. Yeah. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. So thanks again for watching. Cheerio.